And so what are the options to breaking the 200 barrier, you ask? Okay, 2 of you. Very good. Thank you. You're catching on pretty good. And how does it play into our 5-year vision? And I say that because we want to solve problems now that can maybe also solve problems in the future so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel ever. We want to fix things now that will also fix things for the long haul as well. And so as far as leadership structure goes, how do we fix those things? We move from individuals to teams. I'll tell you, our church is doing very well at this. We have transitioned from individuals leading with teams to doing team things, from our kids ministry to our small groups, to all of those things. We do things in a team mentality to not only share the load, but to also make sure everybody's cared for. If one person is in charge of 20, they can't care for all of those people equally. But if one is in charge of 5, they can relationally care for those people. Another thing is people care. As the church grows, there are many needs that arise. As you look around you today, the person next to you and the person to your other side will have needs that go on. And Pastor Dustin and myself aren't able to meet the needs of everybody in this room. However, if we create an ability to care in teams, everybody can feel cared for and the needs can be met. And that's a very, very positive thing. Another thing that we like to talk about is growing in terms of sustainability and scalability. We don't want to create systems that will, in a very short amount of time, be outgrown or not able to grow any further. I liken this to adding on to your house because you have kids, for example. If you choose when you get married to say, hey, we live in a one-bedroom house, but we want to have kids sometime. And so you add on to your house an additional bedroom, and then you end up having 3 kids, and you're like, well, crap, we should have added on 2 or 3 bedrooms when we did it the first time. That's what scalable and sustainable looks like, thinking further along the road so you don't have to keep doing things over and over and over again. Staffing needs. So as far as staffing needs go, we will need many people to step up, non-staff people, to take on key leadership roles. Because as the church grows, those needs will arise, from leading small groups to helping on projects to doing all kinds of things. There's many things within the church that people can volunteer to help do. We also will need to hire more staff people to take on the full-time responsibilities of what the needs will be. And we're going to talk more about that later, of the staffing needs that we will have. But one thing that I want to say is option number 3 that we don't really want to consider an option, but it is something that churches do, is to keep doing things exactly how we've been doing them. And if you remember what I said earlier, if you keep doing what you've been doing and the church continues to grow, you will collapse under the weight of your growth. And we don't want to see that happen. And so physical space needs, we talked about the different needs that we have here. We could add on to our current building, which we've done 2 times. I won't ask you what years those were. We've done those 2 times, very familiar with it. However, we did some studying and researching to add on to our current building for what we think the growth will be 5 years from now, came at a price tag of about $2.5 million. And so I don't know if any of you have that'd be willing to give that to us, but that is a big number to only be able to expand what we have going on here a little bit further. It is a comfortable thing because we've done it before, but we don't see that as a very viable option. Option number 2 is to go to 2 services to increase our capacity, which we see as a temporary option, because as part of our big vision of Thrive Church is we want to spread our spiritual DNA over York County. Going to 2 services continues to let us grow here, but it doesn't accomplish that goal of going elsewhere to reach people in any other areas. Which brings us to the 3rd option of a campus model of ministry, which we've talked about a number of times. You've seen the map in the lobby outlining our campus plan and the studies that we've been doing. We have spent extensive and probably expensive amount of time looking into what it means to campus and what it means to multiply our locations where we are. And the campus model of ministry is what we believe is best.